So the board examination, the upcoming board examination is the second board examination that the examinees will use the recently released table of specifications by the Professional Regulatory Board for Customs Brokers. So let's dissect the topics that are mentioned in the table of specifications. So yung yung subject na customs laws, rules, regulations, ethics, and customs broker practices. Nakasubdivide siya into three major subtopics. The first subtopic is customs administration essentials. So we have here the preliminary provisions of the CMTA from sections 100 to section 307. So where will our topic on police authority fall in the table of specifications? Where can we find the relevance of this topic in the table of specifications? It's there. Okay. There. That's where we can find the topic that we have this afternoon. So 15 questions in the 100 questions for this subject of customs laws will come from the provisions of section 200 to 307. And pasok dito yung i-discuss natin na police authority, because police authority is from section 214 to 224. So pasok dyan. And then the next major subtopic is administrative and judicial proceedings. This is my favorite topic. So we will also give another free lecture in the coming months. And then the third major subtopic is ethics and practices of the customs broker profession. So we will schedule another free webinar on this. But if you want to know more of all of these topics, I am inviting you to join our enrichment course in customs laws and customs documentation and practices. So we are offering that to anyone who would like to join us, even if you're not yet taking the board examination. If you're on your first year, second year, third year, fourth year, you are very welcome. Even if you're already a graduate but wanted to know in depth the topics for these two subjects, then you are welcome. If you're already in the practice and you want to refreshen yourself, then you're also more than welcome to join us. So let's start our discussion on police authority. Is police authority and police power same? The answer is no. Okay? Police power is not the same as police authority. Why? Because police power is the power of the state, one of the powers of the state. The state has three powers: the power of taxation, which is to pass laws that would require the imposition of taxes, the revenue generating power of the state; the power of eminent domain, which is the power of the state to use private property for public use but with payment of just compensation; and police power is the power of the state to regulate property and liberty by passing laws which are geared for the general welfare. That's police power. So if you remember, during the pandemic, we were restricted to move. 'Di ba? We were restricted to move. Hindi lahat ho pwedeng lumabas sa bahay. Kaya nga merong kanta si Kim Chiu, bawal lumabas, because the state then, through our government, restricted our movement. And why is that? Why was the government restricting our movement? Primarily to stop the spread of the virus. So yan yung purpose. Bakit bawal lumabas? Dahil gusto ng gobyerno na maibsan yung paglaganap ng virus. So that's an exercise of police power. Police authority, on the other hand, as far as enforcement of customs laws is concerned, refers to the power to effect arrest, search, and seizure. ASS. Hindi ko lang babanggitin yung buong word kasi medyo mabaho yung dating. But that's the acronym. ASS. The power to effect arrest, the power to conduct search, and the power to seize properties. So let's define each of these three powers or this authority. Arrest refers to the taking of a person into custody in order that such person may be bound to answer for the commission of an offense. So kung ang isang tao may kasalanan sa batas at kailangang parusahan, then dapat siyang dakpin. So that person must be arrested. Kasi kung hindi siya arestuhin, how can that person be bound to answer for the offense that such person committed? So dapat arestuhin. So that's arrest, taking that person into custody. And arrest could either be the actual restraint or the voluntary surrender. Kung puwersahan mong kukunin yung tao, that is an arrest. And that is arrest by actual restraint. Pero kung siya mismo yung susuko sa kanyang sarili, that is also arrest because that is the voluntary submission by that person to the custody of the law. And that is a definition where we can find under the rules of criminal procedure. So, may magtatanong, so attorney, yung ah yung mga involved sa flood control controversies, were they arrested? Yes, they are being arrested, di ba? Pero kung sila mismo yung susuko, sila mismo yung kusang lalapit sa batas at sasabihin, susuko na ako, is that also arrest? Yes, that is also arrest. Because arrest is not only the actual restraint, but also the voluntary submission. At meron bang effect if a person voluntarily submits himself or herself to the law? Meron bang benefit? Yes, there is a benefit because voluntary surrender can be considered as a mitigating circumstance. At ano ba yung mitigating circumstance? Yung mitigating circumstance could lower the penalty that may be imposed upon that person. Kasi yung sa criminal law, there are various circumstances that would either increase the penalty or decrease the penalty. So meron tayong justifying circumstance. Ano ba yung example? The very common example of justifying circumstance would be yung self-defense, the act of defending yourself. So that is a justifying circumstance. If you are able to say that you defended yourself, then that could exempt you from criminal liability because that is considered as a justifying circumstance. Another would be exempting circumstance. Anong example ng exempting circumstance? An example of that would be a person of an unsound mind. Yung hindi niya alam yung kanyang ginagawa. So that could also be an exemption. So that means hindi siya mapaparusahan kasi hindi niya alam yung kanyang ginagawa. Bakit ba importante kung alam mo yung ginagawa mo? Because in our criminal justice system, in our criminal law, intention is important. In fact, the lack of intention to commit a crime exempts that person from criminal liability. And then, mitigating circumstance, yun yung binanggit ko, kasama dyan yung voluntary surrender. And then, the fourth is, nakalimutan ko tuloy yung pang-apat na circumstance. Yung pang-apat na circumstance would also increase, would increase the penalty that could be imposed on the person. So that's arrest. Next word is search. Ano ba yung search? Search is the examination, the examination by another person of the person's body, property, or any other area that a person could reasonably expect to be considered as privacy. So for example, yung bahay mo, okay? So yung bahay mo, pag papasok yung pulis, yung pang-apat pala na circumstance is aggravating circumstance. Aggravating circumstance. So, if the police officer in a checkpoint, let us say, for example, pagbabiyahe kayo, you're going to the airport. When you reach the airport, merong x-ray machine, di ba? So that's an examination. That's a search of your property. So that's a search. Or kung kakapkapan ka, that's also a search. Or when, such as in the picture shown on your screen, that's also a search because that's an examination of your body which you expect to have reasonable privacy. Kasi hindi naman lahat pwedeng humawak ng katawan mo. Hindi lahat pwedeng kumapkap sa katawan mo. In fact, if a person does that without authority, you can prevent, you can stop, you can refuse from submitting yourself to examination because you have reasonable expectation of privacy. Not everyone can enter your house. Sabi nga natin sa sa English law, okay? Even the king could not enter a person's house because that is an intrusion, and that is what our constitutional guarantees are for. So we will discuss more about that in the succeeding slide. In seizure, we are taking the possession of a person or the property. So may nagtanong sa akin, pareho ba daw yung seizure and forfeiture? So in my previous webinar, 2 weeks ago, when we discussed the essential concepts of customs laws, I mentioned that seizure and forfeiture are not the same. In seizure, what is actually taken is only possession. Ownership remains to be on the owner, on the importer. So for example, if there is a warrant of seizure and detention issued against the imported shipment, kahit kinuha ng customs yung shipment, the ownership remains to be with the importer. Because in seizure, what is taken is only possession, not ownership. Sa forfeiture, what is taken is both possession and ownership. In fact, when goods are forfeited, they become the property of the government through the Bureau of Customs. That is why if goods are forfeited, the Bureau of Customs may dispose the things, may dispose the property. Such as recently, di ba, alam naman natin with the flood control controversies, merong mga properties na siniz na yung government, such as the luxury vehicles of those who are involved in this controversy. So, nung sinis ng Bureau of Customs, underwent forfeiture proceedings, and these were declared forfeited. Now, the Bureau of Customs can sell these vehicles because these are now properties of the government. And being properties, they can be disposed. Okay? Pag seized, hindi pa yan property ng Bureau of Customs. So, hindi pa yan pwedeng mabenta. But once goods are forfeited, they can be sold by the Bureau of Customs or disposed in whatever means that the Bureau of Customs may seem fit. So, what are the constitutional limitations with regard to the arrest, search, and seizure? According to the Constitution in Article 3 of the Bill of Rights, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures of whatever nature and for any purpose shall be inviolable. Ibig sabihin, merong karapatan ang mga ang mga tao, they have the right na alam nilang hindi pwedeng kahit anong oras o kahit anong kailang gustuhin ng gobyerno na pasukin yung kanilang bahay, na kunin yung kanilang mga property. Kasi nga, ang sabi ng Constitution, unreasonable searches and seizures are not allowed. In fact, the Constitution requires that for an arrest to be effected, for a search to be conducted, for seizure to be made, there should be a warrant issued by the court. Merong search warrant para makapag-conduct ng search. Merong warrant of arrest para pwedeng arestuhin ang isang tao. Only through a warrant issued by a judge can search be made, seizure be made, or arrest be made. But jurisprudence, case laws, Supreme Court decisions allow searches without warrant. Allow our law enforcement officers to conduct search even without a warrant. And these are the recognized exceptions under the law. Okay? Pangsyam dyan yung customs search. And that's what we will discuss in the duration of the webinar. Pero banggitin ko lang isa-isa. So yung visual search made on moving vehicles at checkpoints, pwede yan kahit walang search warrant, pwedeng maggawa ng search yung ating mga law enforcement agencies. Basta plain view lang. Okay? Hindi pwedeng pababain yung pasahero, hindi pwedeng pabuksan yung window. So visual search lang. Walang gagawin, titingnan lang ng ating mga kapulisan. Search incidental to a valid arrest. If a person is arrested, the law enforcement officer who arrests that person has the power to conduct search. Pwedeng kakapkapan yung kanyang katawan. Why? What's the purpose to do that? The purpose is to ensure that the person being arrested does not have any weapon that he or she can use against the arresting officer. Or pwede siyang kakapkapan to check the means used in the commission of the crime. For example, if merong pinatay na tao, ginamit ang kutsilyo, so yung taong inaresto, pwedeng kakapkapan ng pulis para mahanap yung kutsilyong ginamit sa krimen. Or kung meron siyang binibentang illegal drugs, so pwede siyang kakapkapan to check if meron bang sachet ng illegal drugs sa kanyang katawan. So that's the purpose of conducting the search. Basta mauuna yung aresto. The arrest must be valid. The arrest must come first before a search can be made. Search of passengers in airports. So that's our security checks at the airports. When things are seized within plain view. So plain view doctrine. So walang ginawa ang pulis, tiningnan niya lang, merong ginagawang krimen, pwedeng mag-conduct ng search. Stop and frisk search. So ito yung Terry search. So when our police officers, when our law enforcement officers have reasonable suspicion that the person about to be searched is committing a crime, then search may be conducted even without a warrant. When there is a valid express waiver. So for example, sa checkpoint, tapos tatanungin, pwede ko bang tingnan yung sasakyan niyo? So if you voluntarily and intelligently made that waiver, then search can be conducted even without a warrant. Exigent and emergency circumstances, such as during the time of pandemic, diba? Or during the time of martial law. So that's an emergency situation. So pwedeng mag-conduct ng search. And then warrantless arrest and then custom search. So ano ba yung mga warrantless arrest? Para at least alam nyo rin. So kahit walang warrant, pwedeng arestuhin yung tao if the person is committing a crime, has committed a crime, or attempting to commit a crime. So that's what we call caught in the act. So any person, even a private person, can effect an arrest. Number 2 would be Hot pursuit. Merong krimeng nangyari. For example, there's a person who was robbed. Okay? Hinold up. Tapos may pulis na dumaan. Tinawag yung pulis. Sir, hinold up ho ako. Oh. So, an offense has just been committed and there is probable cause based on personal knowledge kasi yung nagsumbong, yung hinold up, na yung tumatakbo ho, yan ho yung humold up sa akin. So, even if the police officer was not a witness to the offense. Hindi niya nakita na hinold up yung biktima. Pero yung biktima nagsumbong. Sabi ng biktima, yung tumatakbong yan, yan ho yung nang-hold up sa akin. So the police officer can conduct hot pursuit even without a warrant. Kasi hindi naman pwedeng sabihin ng pulis na, ganun ho ba? Hinold up ho ba kayo? Sige, dyan na ho muna kayo. Pupunta muna ako sa korte at manghingi ng arrest warrant para arestuhin ko po yung tumatakbong holdupper. Hindi naman ganun, di ba? The law is not at all stupid. So the law is logical. So kahit walang warrant, if it's in the hot pursuit, then a person may be arrested even without a warrant. But take note, the law here, the Constitution requires immediacy. Anong ibig sabihin ng immediacy? Dapat immediate. Hindi pwedeng isang taon na yung nangyaring holdapan, ngayon mo lang aarestuhin. No, you cannot do that. Even jurisprudence, case law, Supreme Court decisions provide 24 hours. Within 24 hours, pwede, hot pursuit pa yan. Pero lagpas ng 24 hours, you should have a warrant issued by the judge for you to arrest a person. And third, kung galing siya sa isang penal establishment tapos nag-escape. So an escapee could be arrested even without a warrant. So these are some of the cases of warrantless arrest. Now, so ano ba yung police authority under customs laws? So we mentioned about the three things that a person with police authority can do. So when it comes to customs laws, vessels may be seized and searched even without a warrant because that's expressly provided under the customs laws, particularly our Customs Modernization and Tariff Act. Okay, may nagtanong dito, Sir, ask ko lang po, paano po yung mga hinuli ng mga HPG, Highway Patrol Group, binuksan nila yung truck and boxes at saka pa lang nila in-inform ang BOC Enforcement Group. Okay. Now, if their purpose of conducting the operation is in line with their mandate, then walang problema. But it could also be that the members of our highway patrol group are deputized officers. Okay, ano ba yung deputized officers? Malalaman natin mamaya. We will answer your question, Maria, as we discuss the succeeding provisions of the CMTA. Ano ba ang effect if yung search ay ginawa na walang warrant? Or kung yung arrest ay ginawa na walang warrant? Or yung search or arrest ay ginawa walang warrant pero hindi naman saklaw doon sa warrantless arrest or search? Ano yung effect? Sabi ng Constitution, any evidence obtained in violation of the Constitution, yung requirement of warrant of arrest or search warrant shall be inadmissible for any purpose in any proceeding. Example, Supreme Court case. Merong tip na dumating, nakarating sa mga pulis na meron daw isang lalaki na nakasuot kulay blue na damit na may dalang bayong. Alam niyo yung bayong? Yung dati kasi meron pang programa na pera o bayong. Yung bayong ay para siyang bag na dyan usually dyan ilalagay yung mga pinamili sa market or minsan din may butas yung bayong kasi dyan nilalagay yung mga manok, 'di ba? So bayong. Meron daw lalaki na nakasuot kulay blue na may dalang bayong. Ang laman daw ng bayong ay drugs, illegal drugs. So, yun yung tip na dumating doon, nakarating sa mga pulis. So, the police conducted an operation. Meron silang nakitang tao na nakakulay blue. So, anong ginawa nila? Doon sila sa pier. Kasi ang sabi nga, merong pasahero, lalaking kulay blue, na may dalang bayong, tapos ang laman ng bayong, drugs. So, nag-conduct ng operation yung police. Nandun sila sa pier. They waited for that person to disembark. So, nung nakita na nila yung lalaki na nakakulay blue, na may dalang bayong, na bumaba sa barko, pinuntahan, nilapitan nila, at hinuli nila yung tao. So, when the case was filed, the the judge asked, how did you arrest the person? So, ang sagot ng mga pulis, warrantless arrest ho, Your Honor. Sabi ng judge, aba, magaling kayo ah. Sige nga, ano yung basis nyo sa warrantless arrest? Kasi tatlo yun, di ba? First is in flagrante delicto, caught in the act. Pangatlo, hot pursuit. Pangalawa, hot pursuit. Pangatlo is yung nag-escape from a penal establishment. So, ang sagot ng mga pulis, caught in the act daw. Caught in the act. So, sabi ng judge, sige nga, paki-explain nyo nga bakit caught in the act. Kasi yung first requirement ng caught in the act, yung first instance of warrantless arrest, ang requirement ng batas, dapat yung aarestuhin mong tao, gumagawa ng krimen. Okay, gumagawa ng krimen. Sa harap mo, gumagawa ng krimen or nakagawa ng krimen or papunta pa lang sa paggawa ng krimen. So the judge asked, was the person you arrested committing a crime? And if that person was committing a crime, what crime was committed? So sagot ng pulis, opo, he was committing a crime. Anong crime ba yung nakomit niya? Transportation of illegal drugs. Yun yung sagot ng mga pulis. So the judge, the Supreme Court, when the case reached the Supreme Court said, the police officers, although they were doing their job, okay, the Supreme Court said they were doing their job kasi part yan ng trabaho nilang umaresto ng tao. But they did not do it properly. Why? Because the law required for a warrantless arrest under the first situation, which is caught in the act, the person must be committing a crime. What did the person do when they arrested him? Ano bang ginawa nung lalaki na nakakulay blue na may dalang bayong nung inaresto ng mga pulis? Bumababa galing sa barko. So, was there a crime? Meron bang batas na nagsasabing bawal bumaba sa barko? Bawal magsuot ng kulay blue? Bawal magdala ng bayong? Okay. So sagot ng mga pulis, hindi ho, Your Honor. Yung bayong ho kasi may lamang illegal drugs. So sabi ng Korte Suprema, paano nyo nalaman na yung laman ng bayong ay may drugs? Sabi nila, binuksan ho namin. So hindi na ho yun. As the Supreme Court said, though you should not have done anything except merely to look at that person. Kasi when that person disembarked from the vessel, he was just carrying the bayong. He was not carrying illegal drugs. So ano yung effect? Sabi ng Supreme Court, the arrest was illegal and the evidence obtained in an illegal arrest, in an illegal search, cannot be used as evidence against that person. So dismiss yung kaso. Okay? Pero what if sa halip na bayong, transparent bag yung kanyang dala? Ibang usapan na yon. Because kasi transparent bag na yung kanyang dala, plain view doctrine applies. Walang ginawa yung pulis. Nakita niya lang kasi transparent yung kanyang bag. May dalang illegal drugs. Then that could be that could invoke the police could invoke plain view doctrine. And under plain view doctrine, justifiable yung kanyang ginawa. Kasi nakita naman niya may ginagawang krimen yung taong yun. So, that's how the Supreme Court decision explains concepts of our criminal law and our Constitution. If meron kayong tanong, we will answer later, okay? So, who may exercise police authority under the CMTA? Under Section 214, there are three groups of persons who are authorized to exercise police authority. The first group is the Bureau of Customs officials. Okay? So officials of the Bureau. Sino ba yung mga officials ng Bureau? Commissioner of Customs, Deputy Commissioner of Customs, Assistant Commissioner of Customs, District Collectors. Yan. So these are officials. District Collectors of Customs, Deputy District Collectors of Customs. Police officers. Sino ba itong mga police officers? So although not defined in Section 214, hindi naman binanggit sa Section 214 sino yung police officers, di ba? If we read Customs Administrative Order number 3-2019, yung CAO 3-2019, nakasaad dyan, dinidefine sino-sino tong mga taong to. And under Customs Administrative Order number 3-2019, police officers are those personnel who belong to the enforcement and security service of the Bureau of Customs. So yung ating mga customs police officers. So yan sila, yung police officers. Sino naman yung mga agents? Agents are officers of the Bureau of Customs who belong to the intelligence group. Okay, yung nasa intelligence service. So those are considered to be our agents. Inspectors. Sino ba yung inspectors? According to Customs Administrative Order number 3-2019, inspectors are customs officers under the district collector who conduct inspection of vessels or aircrafts. So, yung mga umaakyat sa barko, yung umaakyat sa eroplano, mga inspectors yan. Sila yung inspectors na binabanggit dyan sa Section 214. Sino naman yung guards? Okay, sa Bureau of Customs meron tayong guards. In fact, ang mga positions nila, security guard talaga, security guard 2, SG2, yung kanilang mga positions. At ano ba yung requirement to be SG2? Kailangan nila ng security guard license. Yung mga security guards ng eskwelahan ninyo, yung security guards ng ating mga malls, ng ating mga hotels, ng ating mga establishments, sila yan yung requirement, security guard license. Meron tayong mga security guards sa Bureau of Customs. Pero ang item nila, customs guards. So sila yun yung mga guards. These are customs officers under the district collector who guard vessels, aircrafts, warehouses, and other customs facilities. So sila yung mga pwedeng mag-arrest, mag-search, at mag-seize. Next group. Okay? The next group would be our law enforcement officers. Members and officers of our national law enforcement agencies. Pero may requirement dyan. Anong requirement? Upon authorization of the Commissioner of Customs. At paano ba, in what form is that authorization of the Commissioner? Under Customs Administrative Order number 3-2019, that is in the form of a deputization order. Deputization order. At ano-ano ba tong mga law enforcement agencies na to? Under Customs Administrative Order number 3-2019, this includes the Armed Forces of the Philippines, yung ating Philippine Navy, Philippine Army, Philippine Air Force. Okay, so yan. Yung ating Philippine National Police, yung ating National Bureau of Investigation, Philippine Coast Guard, Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, Bureau of the Fisheries and Aquatic Resources. So yan ho yung ating mga national law enforcement agencies na pwedeng tumulong sa Bureau of Customs. And ang requirement ho ng letter B, merong authorization from the commissioner. Mismong kay commissioner. Hindi pwedeng kay district collector, hindi pwedeng kay deputy commissioner, dapat kay commissioner. And in what form ho itong authorization? Is this a verbal authorization? No, it is a written authorization. Written authorization. At anong tawag doon sa written authorization na yan? Deputization order. Deputization order. At yung mga members ng law enforcement agencies na merong deputization order, ang tawag natin sa kanila, deputized officers. Okay, deputized officers. So they are considered deputized officers. So if they conduct arrest, if they conduct search, if they conduct seizure pursuant to customs laws, they have to be deputized by the Bureau of Customs. Okay. Okay, thank you, Maria. So yan pala yung item mo. Okay. So sa tanong mo kanina about the HPG, if they were conducting the operations under customs laws, then they have to be authorized by the commissioner. Deputization order. But if they were doing the operations not under customs laws, not specifically under customs laws, they can conduct the operations. Kasi meron naman silang jurisdiction to do that because they are the Philippine National Police. Philippine National Police, napakalawak ko ng kanilang jurisdiction. Any police operations pwede ho nilang gawin. Okay? Kasi malawak ko yung sa Philippine National Police. Pero ang requirement natin dyan, the custody of the seized goods, if these are imported, has to be with the Bureau of Customs. Because under the CMTA, the Bureau of Customs exercises exclusive jurisdiction over forfeiture cases. And the Supreme Court, in a long line of cases, continues to uphold the authority, the exclusive authority of the Bureau of Customs as far as custody of imported goods is concerned. Meron lang exception. Ano yung isang exception dyan? Illegal drugs. Because under the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Law, custody of suspected illegal drugs and paraphernalia belongs to the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency. So, ulitin ko ang requirement for the Philippine National Police, the National Bureau of Investigation to conduct search, seizure, and arrest under customs laws. Dapat under customs laws. Kung under customs laws, dapat merong authorization from the commissioner. Merong authorization from the commissioner. And in what form? In a form of a deputization order. Anong ebidensyang nakuha po ba, attorney, sa paglabag sa karapatan laban sa illegal na pag-aresto o illegal na paghahalughog at pagsamsam ay hindi maaring tanggapin sa anumang paglilitis? Yes, that's correct. That is the fruit of the poisonous tree doctrine. Yan yung binanggit ko kanina. Nasabi ng Constitution, kapag illegal ang search, illegal ang arrest, illegal ang seizure, anumang ebidensya ang nakuha dyan ay illegal din. Hindi maaaring gamitin sa anumang kaso. Okay? So, that is the fruit of the poisonous tree doctrine. If the tree is poisonous, of course, the fruit will also be poisonous. If the search is illegal, if the search is not part of those warrantless searches, if the arrest is illegal, if the seizure is illegal, you cannot use any evidence from that illegal activity. Kasi illegal nga yung pagkuha, then you cannot use that. Okay, so that is inadmissible as evidence. That's the fruit of the poisonous tree doctrine. At ang pangatlong grupo, ito yung mga taga Bureau of Internal Revenue. What's the condition? As long as they conduct the search, the seizure of the arrest in the performance of their duties when it involves internal revenue taxes. So, kapag BIR, hindi kailangan ng authorization. Okay, hindi kailangan ng authorization as long as yung purpose nila ay masiguro na nagbayad ng internal revenue taxes. Saan ba pwedeng umaresto? Saan ba pwedeng mag-conduct ng search at seizure yung mga persons with police authority? Any premises under Section 303. Ano ba yung Section 303? Ayon sa CMT, yung Section 303 ay yung premises for customs purposes. At ano ba to? Customs offices, facilities, warehouses, ports, airports, wharves, infrastructure, and other premises in the customs districts. So yan yung mga lugar na pwedeng mag-exercise ng police authority yung ating tatlong grupo ng taong binanggit sa Section 214. Now, anong ibig sabihin nitong without prejudice? I always receive messages. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng without prejudice? The meaning of without prejudice would differ on how the words are used. For example, in Section 303, di ba ang sabi ng Section 303, exclusive, siya lang, okay? Ang Bureau of Customs lang ang merong control, merong direction, merong management sa kanyang mga premises. Okay? Siya lang. Pero merong binanggit yung batas without prejudice to the general police powers of the LGU, the Philippine Coast Guard, and other law enforcement agencies. So anong ibig sabihin ng without prejudice? Di ba sabi dito, exclusive yung control ng Bureau of Customs sa opisina ng Bureau of Customs. So, ibig sabihin, kung sa loob ng opisina ng Bureau of Customs, ang meron lang kapangyarihan na pwedeng papasukin o hindi pwedeng papasukin ang taga Bureau of Customs. Okay? Kasi exclusive yan. Kay Bureau of Customs lang yan. Sa kanya lang yan, di ba? Pero, kapag merong krimeng nangyari sa loob ng opisina ng Bureau of Customs, for example, merong pagnanakaw, merong pagpatay. Okay? Tapos, papasok yung pulis kasi mag-iimbestiga. Papasok yung NBI kasi mag-iimbestiga. Pwede bang sabihan ng Bureau of Customs, hindi kayo pwedeng pumasok kasi exclusive namin to. Okay? Meron kaming exclusive control dito sa opisina namin. Meron kaming exclusive direction sa opisina namin. We have exclusive management of our customs premises. Pwede bang bawalan ng Bureau of Customs yung pulis na mag-imbestiga? Pwede bang bawalan ng Bureau of Customs yung NBI na mag-imbestiga? Hindi. Kasi without prejudice. Ibig sabihin, oo, Bureau of Customs, meron kang exclusive control, you have exclusive direction, you have exclusive management, but that power is without prejudice. Ibig sabihin, hindi mo pwedeng pagbawalan yung mga law enforcement agencies na gawin yung kanilang trabaho in relation to their mandate. Kasi pag iimbestiga ng mayroong mamatay, trabaho yan ng pulis. Okay? Mag-iimbestiga kung may krimeng nangyari, trabaho yan ng pulis. Or for example, nasunog yung opisina ng customs. Pwede bang pagbawalan ng customs yung bumbero na pumasok? Hindi, kasi trabaho ng bumbero ang patayin ang sunog. And that is because that is the respective function of that concerned Bureau of Fire Protection. So yan yung ibig sabihin ng without prejudice dyan. Hindi porket nandyan yung karapatan, yung authority ni Customs for exclusive control, hindi mo pwedeng pagbawalan yung ibang ahensya ng gobyerno na gawin yung kanilang trabaho kasi nga nakasaad sa batas. So that's what without prejudice means there. Okay? Next. So ito yung mga lugar na pwedeng gawin. Okay? Over all seas, coast, ports, airports, harbors, bays, rivers, and inland waters. So hanggat may tubig, hanggat may eroplano, hanggat may barko, merong power yung Bureau of Customs, merong power yung ating mga police officers or persons with police authority under Section 214. Okay, let's have a question to test your knowledge. The National Bureau of Investigation created a team that conducted a search in the warehouse of A Corporation. When the lawyer of A Corporation inquired as to the authority of the NBI, the team leader showed a letter from the district collector of the port authorizing the NBI to effect the search. Is the search valid? Okay. Is the search valid? Kapag ang tanong dito ganyan, lagi niyong tatandaan yung tatlong grupo na binabanggit sa Section 214. What are the three groups? First group, BOC. Second group, National Law Enforcement Agency. Ano yung requirement? Pwede basta may authorization kay commissioner. In fact, anong tawag doon sa authorization na yon? Deputization order. Pangatlo, BIR. Sa BIR, anong requirement? Basta siguruhin ang pagbayad ng internal revenue taxes. Now, saan ba dito magfa-fall? Sa second, di ba? Sa second group. Now, ano ba yung requirement sa second group? Authorization ni commissioner. Ano ba yung authorization na meron dito? Kay district collector lang. So, hindi siya valid. Okay? Hindi valid yan. Yes, you are correct. The Bureau of Customs has exclusive control that has been upheld by the Constitution. Not by the Constitution, but by the Supreme Court. In a lot of cases, the Supreme Court said the Bureau of Customs has exclusive jurisdiction over imported goods, even without even without a warrant of seizure and detention previously issued. Yes, but that does not mean that the Bureau that does not stop the other law enforcement agencies from doing their own tasks. Okay? So, based on the question that we had, the search is not valid because the authorization did not come from the Commissioner of Customs. Okay, next question. Assuming that the search was conducted by the Bureau of Internal Revenue for the purpose of checking whether excise taxes on the wines were properly paid, is the search valid? Excuse me, if the letter was only signed by the district collector and not by the commissioner. So, kapag BIR, is it valid? The answer is yes. Kasi sa third group ng BIR, hindi naman nire-require yung authorization. Ang kailangan lang ng batas ay in the performance of their respective duties and functions in ensuring that internal revenue taxes are paid. So, hindi kailangan ng authorization dito. Okay. Duties and powers of persons exercising police authority. So, ano ba yung kanilang mga duties and responsibilities? Okay, kasi meron silang authority, but they also have the corresponding responsibility. At ano-ano ba tong mga responsibilities na to? Okay. These are, first, the power to seize any vessel, aircraft, cargo, goods, animal, or any other movable property under Section 216 of the CMTA. So, merong kapangyarihan yung ating mga persons vested with police authority to seize, okay, to seize any vessel, any aircraft, and any goods. Next, they also have the corresponding duty to disclose their official character. In fact, Section 217 says that they shall disclose the nature of their authority when they are questioned at the time of exercise thereof, and shall exhibit the corresponding written authority issued by the Commissioner of Customs. So, kapag magkakandak sila ng operation at hinanapan sila ng authority, they have to tell their persons. They have to tell, ako ho ay si ganito, si ganyan, kami ho ay taga Bureau of Customs, meron ho kaming mission order mula kay Commissioner para magkandak ko ng operations dito sa opisina ninyo. So that has to be done. Why? Because the person who has ownership over the property could validly ask the authority. Kasi kung hindi ka magtatanong, how sure are you that that is a valid operation, di ba? So normal sa tao na kapag kinatok, magtatanong, sino ho sila? Okay? Who are you? So kapag tinanong ho sila, who are you? They have to introduce themselves and they have to show their authorization from the Commissioner of Customs, or if it was a search warrant issued by the judge, then they have to show that warrant issued by the judge. Next, authority to require assistance and information. Under Section 218, if merong operation yung Bureau of Customs, let us say for example, the Bureau of Customs has an operation in a particular barangay, tapos yung barangay na yan ay liblib na nasa kagubatan, hindi nila alam, they don't have the sufficient knowledge of the place, they could ask assistance from the local police. Okay, they could ask and request information from the national police, from the AFP and other national law enforcement agencies. Or kung for example, heavily guarded yung lugar, maraming goons, maraming mga private armies, private armed groups, tapos kulang yung tao ng Bureau of Customs, pwede silang humingi ng tulong sa police, sa armed forces para ma-pursue yung operations. And that has to be done because that is allowed under Section 218. And the law says it shall be the duty of such law enforcement agencies to give the lawful assistance. Authority to search vehicles, other carriers, persons, and animals. That is under Section 221. Okay? Pwedeng umakyat sa barko, pwedeng umakyat sa eroplano, at kung meron siyang nakitang liable for seizure or for forfeiture under customs laws, pwede niyang kunin. Because that is their authority. That is their authority under the CMTA. Authority to search vessels or aircrafts and persons or goods conveyed therein, and authority to search persons arriving from foreign countries. Now, in the exercise of such powers, meron bang liability yung ating mga persons with police authority? Let's see, okay? Let's see. Not so long ago, merong controversy na nangyari sa ating paliparan, sa ating airports. And I'd like you to look at this video clip.
Hindi lang ang mga kababayan nating paalis ng bansa ang nakararanas ng aberya sa airport. Isang OFW na umuwi galing Hong Kong ang napilitang ipasira na lang ang pasalubong niyang laruan na pinaghinalaang may lamang kontrabando. May report si Ian Cruz.
Souvenir at panregalo sana ang toy plane na yan, pero hindi na yan lumanding sa kamay ng pagbibigyan sana ng may-ari si Rachel Ann Ramos, isang OFW mula Hong Kong. Kaya ang excitement niya pag-uwi, napalitan ng kaba at pagkadismaya. Kwento ni Ramos, umuwi siya sa bansa nitong March 25 para magbakasyon at habang naghihintay ng connecting flight palawag, nilapitan siya ng isang empleyado ng airport para siyasatin ang dala niyang bagahe.
Yung box ng airplane. So gulat na gulat ako, yun pala yung problema, hindi pala yung luggage ko. Doon sa x-ray na may nakita daw na image, hindi naman nila masabi kung anong image. Ang sabi lang nila, there's something inside the plane.
2 beses daw itong pinadaan sa x-ray machine at 2 beses ding pinaamoy sa K9 unit pero walang nakitang kontrabando.
Nagulat na lang ako, ang dami ng tao, may police, may PIDEA, may airport staff, may mga custom staff. Sabi nung naka-gloves na babae, anong gagawin natin dito? Sabi niya sa mga kasamahan niya. Tapos tumingin sila sa akin.
Doon na nagdesisyon si Ramos na payagang sirain ang laruan lalo't hinahabol niya ang kanyang connecting flight. Nang mawasak, wala namang nakitang kontrabando sa die-cast airplane na sa basurahan na ang bagsak. Humingi ng paumanhin ang mga staff kay Ramos.
Ang na-disappoint, sir, kasi actually yung plane na yon, regalo ko sa boyfriend ko.
Hiling ni Ramos.
Kung hindi sila confident dun sa machine nila, palitan na. Baka pwede namang mag-upgrade sila. Palitan ng mas magandang image para makita talaga nila, ma-detect nila yung nasa loob.
Humingi rin ng paumanhin ng Bureau of Customs na kailangan pang humantong ang sitwasyon sa pagwasak ng laruan.
Humihingi kami ng paumanhin doon sa pasahero na naabala. Ari pong tingnan namin kung ano yung mga latest technology pa nakulang kami para makapag-conduct ng ganitong klaseng examination. Other than a non-intrusive examination, a more confirmatory examination para next time po hindi na po kailangan humantong sa ganito.
Ian Cruz nagbabalita para sa GMA Integrated News.
Hindi lang ang mga kababayan
So that happened, 'di ba? Not so long ago in our airport. So nasira yung laruan. Ang tanong, pwede bang habulin nung pasahero yung Bureau of Customs kasi sinira ng taga Bureau of Customs yung kanyang laruang eroplano na ibibigay sana sa kanyang boyfriend, di ba? Ilang taon kaya silang hindi nagkita. And syempre, kapag long distance relationship, miss na miss yung isa't isa, di ba? At mahalag at nakaka-appreciate yung iyong partner if you give something. So, ano kayang reaction ng boyfriend niya nung nalamang wala na yung eroplanong pampasalubong para sa kanya? Can the passenger file a case against the Bureau of Customs employee who conducted the search and destroyed the airplane? Meron ba? Okay, we'll find. Okay, let's see what the CMTA says. Okay, according to the CMTA, search of vessels or aircrafts and persons or goods conveyed therein shall not give rise to any claim for damage. Ibig sabihin, hindi pwedeng maghabla, hindi pwedeng magkaso, mag-file ng case for damages yung property, yung barko, yung airplane, or kahit anong gamit na nasira, okay? For any damage caused to the goods, vessel, or aircraft. Yan ang general rule. Okay, that's the general rule. But we all know that in every rule, there is or there are exceptions. At ang sabi dito sa batas, unless, okay, general rule, hindi pwedeng magreklamo, hindi pwedeng mag-file ng kaso against the Bureau of Customs, except unless there is gross negligence. So when you say gross negligence, merong labis na ano bang Tagalog ng negligence? Yung hindi niya ginampanan yung kanyang trabaho. Okay? Nakalimutan ko tuloy yung Tagalog ng negligence. Thank you, Almar. Very good. Thank you, Almar. Kapabayaan. Okay? Kapabayaan. Kung merong gross na kapapayabaan. So, yan. There's gross negligence, then you can file a case. Okay? Tanong, yung pagsira ba, gross negligence ba? So, yun. Depende yan. Because sa atin hong legal system, he who alleges must prove. Kung sino yung nagsasabing may pagpapabaya, dapat siya yung mag-prove na merong pagpapabaya, di ba? Kaya nga sabi ng mga taong nagdududa yung kanilang mga boyfriend at girlfriend, kung kayo ang nagdududa, kayo yung magpakita ng ebidensya na meron kaming ginagawang hindi maganda. Hindi yung kami yung magdedepensa sa sarili namin because He who alleges must prove. So, for example, katulad nung kanina, yung pasahero, siya dapat, kung maghahabla man siya, just in case maghahabla man siya dapat ang magpo-prove na merong gross negligence doon sa ginawa ng customs officer. What else? If it is not authorized, if the search was not authorized. Okay, tanong natin, meron bang kapangyarihan yung customs officer kanina na i-examine yung eroplano? Yes, kasi authority niya yan, di ba? So, if authorized siya, then walang claim for damage that may give rise. So, hindi mo pwedeng reklamo. Or, there is abuse of authority. Now, dito na, pwede mo nang sabihin na baka nag-abuso siya. Okay, there is abuse of authority. So, if the person is not authorized, for example, hindi naman siya customs officer doon sa airport, hindi niya trabaho yun, then hindi siya authorized. You can file a claim for damage. Or, meron siyang merong kapabayaan doon sa ginawa niya. For example lang natin, yung eroplano, alam niya na mababasag yun. Hindi na lang yung eroplano kasi mahirap siyang example. Let us just say, glass, okay? Made of glass yung item. Tapos nakalagay, handle with care. Tapos, instead na i-handle nila with care, they did not carry it with care. Katulad ng mga nangyayari dyan na nakikita natin na yung mga bag ay tinatapon lang, di ba? So that is gross negligence kung tinatapon lang nila yung mga gamit. So there's gross negligence. Or there's abuse of authority. So if any of these three is present, then there could be a claim for damages. Yes, you're correct, Kent. The burden of proof is on the claimant or on the importer. Okay? According to the news, there's an authorization po from the passenger na sirain yung laruan. Very good point, James. Kasi sabi dun sa news na nagtinginan daw, di ba? Nagtinginan yung mga taga Bureau of Customs, yung mga kasamahan niya, tiningnan nila yung babae. Tapos sabi ng pasero, sige, para matapos na, sirain nyo na lang. Okay? Sinira nyo na yung pagmamahal ko sa aking boyfriend. Pero I think, mas nangibabaw yung pagmamahalan ng kanilang boyfriend kasi kahit na sinira yung eroplano, 'di ba? Hindi naman malungkot si passenger doon sa video. So, sinira na yung eroplano pero hindi masisira yung pagmamahal. So, take note of that. You cannot file a claim for damages unless any of those three is present. Okay, now let's go to searches in a dwelling house or in any other place. Under Section 219 of the CMTA, the person who has police authority may at any time, sabi ng batas, anytime, madaling araw man yan, umaga man yan, hapon man yan, gabi man yan, hating gabi man yan. Okay? Anong oras? At any time, the person who has that authority may enter, pwedeng pasukin, pass through, pwedeng dumaan, and search any land, enclosure, warehouse, store, building, or structure not principally used as a dwelling house. Ano ba yung definition ng dwelling house? Okay, hindi naman siya define doon sa section 219. But if we read Customs Administrative Order number 3-2019, kaya nga you have to when you read the CMTA, you have to also read the customs regulation. So, kaya sa aking ilalabas na 2026 Reviewer on Customs Laws, meron na tayong discussion kung ano yung nasa Customs Administrative Order. So, the Commissioner of Customs under Section 204 of the CMTS, the authority to issue rules and regulations. So, kaya merong mga customs memorandum order and administrative order si commissioner. So ano bang ibig sabihin ng dwelling house? Under Customs Administrative Order number 3-2019, a dwelling house refers to any building or structure exclusively devoted to rest and comfort. Exclusively devoted to rest and comfort. Ibig sabihin, dun matutulog. Dun matutulog yung owner o yung mga sino mang taong nakatira dun sa bahay na yan. So exclusively, exclusive. So ibig sabihin, walang ibang purpose kundi tulugan, walang ibang purpose kundi gawing bahay. That's the meaning of dwelling house under Section 219. So what if yung opisina, di ba sabi dito, yung opisina pwedeng pasukin, yung warehouse pwedeng pasukin. What if, attorney, yung security officer, yung security guard doon sa warehouse, doon din natutulog sa warehouse, magiging dwelling house ba siya? The answer is no. Kasi sabi dito, when a security personnel or any other employee lives in that warehouse, it shall not be considered a dwelling house for purposes of this act. Diba? Yung mga security guard natin na napaka magigiting sa kanilang performance ng kanilang trabaho, hindi natutulog. So, if any person sleeps on that place, it does not become a dwelling house. So, kung hindi dwelling house, basta hindi bahay, pwedeng pasukin kahit anong oras, kahit walang warrant. Okay? Pwedeng pasukin kahit anong oras, kahit walang warrant. Pero kapag dwelling house na, ito na yung requirement ng batas. Under Section 220, if it is a dwelling house, it can only be entered and searched if there is a warrant issued by a judge of a competent court. And there should be a sworn application showing probable cause. So ano ba itong ibig sabihin ng probable cause dito? So these are facts and circumstances that would lead a reasonably prudent man to believe that a violation of our customs laws is committed, and the place to be searched contains the things to be seized. Ano ba ibig sabihin nitong this particular description? Ibig sabihin, dapat yung search warrant naka-describe in particular yung kailangang i-seize. Kasi kung hindi siya i-describe, kahit ano, pwedeng kunin. Diba? The purpose of the particular description requirement is to ensure that our police officers do not have unbridled discretion. Ibig sabihin, kahit ano na lang nilang makita, pwede nilang kunin, di ba? Pero pag merong particular description, if the search warrant particular describes, then only those that are particularly described in that search warrant could be seized by our police officers or by any person who exercises police authority. Okay, let's have this a question. So, Alfredo bought a luxury car from Germany valued at 10. Okay, yung kay Diskaya pala is under dwelling house, kaya pala need ng warrant issued by judge, kaya hindi kaagad napasok. I'm not sure about the circumstances, if that was a dwelling house or not, but from what I read over the news, ay merong search warrant na inisyu yung judge. Okay? So merong search warrant. So, kahit ba hindi ba, may nagtanong din sa akin noon, kung yung lugar ay hindi bahay, hindi ba pwedeng mag-search warrant? So, the requirement of search warrant does not, even if the place to be searched is not a dwelling house, it does not prevent the Bureau of Customs from asking search warrant from the court. So kahit hindi yan bahay, kahit opisina man yan, kahit sinabi ng batas na pwedeng walang search warrant, it does not stop the Bureau of Customs from applying for a search warrant. Okay? So Alfredo bought a luxury car from Germany valued at 10 million pesos subject to 30% rate of duty. However, instead of paying 3 million pesos, Alfredo only paid 300,000 pesos by submitting a falsified seller's invoice. Upon knowing this fraudulent practice, the District Collector of Customs instructed a team of Customs police officers to seize the car. The car was parked in a pay parking garage and was immediately seized by the customs authorities. Alfredo questioned the seizure as there was no search warrant issued by the judge. Is the seizure legal? Okay? So pag ganito yung tanong, balikan nyo yung Section 219. Ang sabi ng Section 219, at any place, di ba, land, enclosure, building, warehouse, or store, not principally used as a dwelling house. So, tanong natin dito, yung pay parking garage, is that a dwelling house? Yes or no? No, it's not a dwelling house. So, if it's not a dwelling house, pwede bang pasukin kahit walang search warrant? The answer is yes. Okay? Yes. Pwedeng pasukin kahit walang search warrant because it's not a dwelling house. So the seizure is legal. The seizure is legal. Another question. If the car was parked inside the residence of Alfredo, is the seizure legal? Kung sa loob na ng bahay, then that's a big no. Because the law requires na kung bahay ang papasukin, there must be a search warrant issued by the judge. Okay, if the car was parked inside a building where the security guard takes his rest and sleeps at night, is the seizure legal? Yes, it is still legal because the law says the fact that the security officer or security personnel sleeps in that place does not make such place a dwelling house. Okay, next. The luxury car parked inside the residence of Alfredo was seized without a warrant and was used as evidence in the smuggling case against him. During the trial, the lawyer of Alfredo sought the dismissal of the case because the car was obtained through an illegal search. Is the lawyer of Alfredo correct? Okay, pwede ba niyang i-question yung evidence? At kung i-question yung evidence ay madidismiss yung case? So the lawyer of Alfredo is correct. It's a big yes because this is the fruit of the poisonous tree doctrine. According to the Constitution, any evidence obtained in an illegal search cannot be admitted as evidence in any proceeding. So dahil yung search ay illegal, yung seizure ay illegal, then the vehicle could not be used as evidence. And if the evidence if there is no more admissible evidence in a case, then the case could be dismissed. In fact, kapag yung search ay illegal, pwede ka mag-file ng motion to suppress the evidence. And you can also file a motion to dismiss the case. Now, let's go to Section 224. Malapit na tayong matapos. So what is in Section 224? This is the power to inspect and visit, the visitorial power of the commissioner. So the commissioner or any customs officer authorized by the commissioner in writing, written authorization. At in fact, ang tawag dito, letter of authority. Letter of authority. May demand evidence of payment. So ang pwede niyang gawin ay pumunta sa isang lugar kung saan binibenta o tinatago yung imported goods at maghingi ng ebidensya ng binayarang duties and taxes. So, what if hindi siya makapagpakita, yung may-ari ay hindi makapagpakita ng ebidensya, proof of payment of duties and taxes? What would happen? In the event that the interested party fails to produce the evidence, pwedeng i-seize. Okay? But take note, pwedeng i-seize not immediately. For example, pumunta yung customs officer January 2. Okay? Walang may pakitang ebidensya. Pwede ba agad-agad na i-seize? Hindi. Meron pang 15 araw yung may-ari na magpakita ng ebidensya. Okay? Within 15 days. And only after the lapse of that 15 days, pwedeng ma-seize yung shipment. Okay? Provided that during the proceedings, the interested party shall be given the opportunity to prove or show the source of the goods and the payment of duties and taxes. In fact, if meron ng seizure, meron ng warrant of seizure and detention na naipakita, ang remedy ni importer ay mag-motion to quash the warrant of seizure and detention. Yan yung sabi dyan, no? Provided that when the warrant of seizure has been issued, but subsequent documents presented evidences proves payment of duties and taxes, that the district collector shall within 15 days from receipt of the motion to quash or recall the warrant. Yan yung remedy, motion to quash the warrant. Pwedeng ma-release ni Bureau of Customs. But of course, subject to the clearance by the Commissioner of Customs. Okay. Question. While looking for a car to be given as a birthday gift to his girlfriend, the Deputy Commissioner demanded from the owner of a car dealership a copy of the proof of payment of the duties and taxes. Does the Deputy Commissioner have such authority? The answer is no. No. Diba? Because that authorization must come from the Commissioner in a form of letter of authority. Hindi pwedeng kahit anong oras pumasok at manghingi ng ebidensya. No, there should be a letter of authority. The purpose of the letter of authority is to prevent any abuses that may be committed by any customs officer. So, dapat merong letter of authority. So, this time, meron ng letter of authority. Customs Officer B went to a mall and demanded payment of duties and taxes. As the owner was not able to show proof of payment, the Customs Officer B recommended the issuance of warrant of seizure and detention. Is Customs Officer B correct? Pumunta si Customs Officer B, nanghingi ng payment of duties and taxes, wala may pakita, at automatic seizure. The answer is no, because the party concerned, the owner has a period of 15 days to show proof of payment of duties and taxes. And only for failure to show proof after the 15th day shall the goods be subject to seizure.